Hey everyone, it's Eric Silvermoon. This week I wanted to do this art piece that kind of was inspired by things that recently manifested for me. And so I called this piece specifically to Conjure. And I wanted to depict this like young kind of Latin girl just in the middle of her like magical need where she's conjuring either a loved one or a spirit or the goddess or whoever it is that she needs to kind of grant her, or just to communicate. I think that's the main thing I wanted to vocalize, is communication with spirit and being in that moment. So hopefully that comes across. I also got an opportunity to use these really cool watercolors from Michael's. They're only $5, but they're metallic or holographic. I don't remember what it was labeled as, but it was really cool because when you look at it, it looks almost like a makeup palette. And so I was like, ooh, they look like Jeffree Star's Skin Frost kind of like their compacts. And so I was like, cool. So I did get to mess around with it in terms of like pretending it was like makeup on her, on the art piece. I did a little bit of like this like highlighted cheekbone and a little bit on her like collarbones and shoulders, and I think it came out really cool, and hopefully that comes across on film. But I did want to talk about just manifesting in general and my thoughts about it. Because normally when I want something or I need something to manifest in my life, I don't share it with others. My personal feelings and reasoning behind that is that like recently I had a couple things manifest for me, and today's August 2nd, so yesterday, Wednesday, was Lammas, for those that celebrate the Sabbats and the pagan holidays, and it's the first Sabbat of the year that symbolizes for like the harvest seasons. And so I did this little fire ritual of just I offered some flowers, and I had some spells in there that I needed to burn and release because they already manifested. And so I wanted to do this thing where I'm saying thank you for all those that helped me, goddess, God, my entire spiritual tribe. And I shared that. I shared the final workings of it because my reasoning behind that is that let's say, for instance, I recently just got a new job, and so this is the last week of my current job, and I normally don't tell people that I'm looking for a job, or that I'm going to look for a job, or that I'm doing magical workings or manifestations, because I need it to just be my personal space, my personal energy into it. So if I post something like a candle magic stuff that I'm doing about manifestation during my manifestation, then I kind of feel like outside energy is welcome to manipulate it, if that makes sense. And so if it's just me, then I know if something goes wrong, then it either wasn't the right time, or maybe I can reflect to see where it went wrong, or sometimes it allows me to kind of pinpoint and focus a little bit on what I could have done better, or what would have happened or whatever. And if I would have posted, then that would have kind of had some room to kind of manipulate things. Or it could also be self-sabotage. Even me, by posting something, I could always think it's like, oh, maybe it's going to go wrong because I'm having other energies into it. So to avoid all that confusion and complex stuff, I like sharing the end results. I like sharing the end results of things. And so normally when you see things that I post, like a spell jar, it'll either be right at the beginning when I'm gathering all the fun stuff and the materials, and then you'll see something at the end once I've already did all the work and you're just looking at the final piece. Because I like that. I like being in control of my magic, and in terms of like focusing on that energy and the intent, I want it to stay pure. And so that's kind of what I do with manifestations, and I like sharing that because I don't like interference from other areas. And it happens a lot on social media, and don't get me wrong, for those of you that do that, please don't stop, or more power to you if it works for you. But I think for me, it's more like a mind fuck thing. Like, I think it gets in my head and I start getting paranoid about the energy that's out there. So I rather, just like I said, to avoid all that confusion and messy stuff, I like to stay private with my magic. At least I am now, because I used to not be, and I think now it kind of gave me a little bit of some wisdom and experience in terms of what I feel now works for me best, and what does work for me, what doesn't work for me. And I think posting things during these spell workings like I used to, I think it interfered a lot and it broke my focus, obviously. So it was a little difficult. But this time around, I think my magic and spell work has been so strong and so focused when I stick to this way of sharing, because I'm an artist. I love sharing things, especially if I make things from hand or spell work. I like sharing it. I don't know what it is about it, but I get I get really happy to share things when I make stuff. And so I know that if I do it during, it does affect it. But yeah, so I just want to kind of like share a little bit of my thought process on that. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is also about when things do manifest, how are you thankful for those manifestations? How are you thankful for the blessings? Personally, for me, as soon as something manifests, because normally we turn to magic when we need something, or we want, normally it's because of a need, a desire that we want to manifest. And so we're asking for the higher powers to kind of intervene and help us, and we use magic to manifest that for us. And for me, I don't want to come across to my guides, my goddess, that I'm constantly asking, they're constantly giving. I want to be able to pay that forward. So as soon as something manifests, or even, I think just in general, it's being thankful for the blessings that you do have, the things that you have been given, is powerful, and it comes from a very humbling place. And I would like to think that my goddess recognizes that I am grateful for what I have. Even if I'm asking for more, I'm still grateful if I don't receive them, if that makes sense. So as soon as something manifests, I immediately go into prayer work and meditation, and I usually sometimes cry because I'm so grateful that I'm constantly getting things and being gifted things, and not necessarily like physical things, but it could be emotions, things, emotional release. I'm being helped throughout this journey. And so I'm constantly working from a place of gratitude and compassion and humbleness. And I always ask, what can I do in return for these gifts? Either by helping somebody else, helping someone in my family, sharing something, giving something physically to somebody else as a gift to make their day better, opening the door. I think it's just all about being the best version of myself and a decent human being. I feel like that balances out things. If I'm able to pay that forward in that way, I feel like it's helpful, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of how I feel like I can repay, the goddess in that way, and sharing messages and putting videos out like this. Sometimes I think it helps, just to express yourself and to have somebody else interact with that. I think it's very helpful. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what you guys' thoughts about manifestations. I'm also curious to see if you guys do kind of the thought process that I do in terms of sharing spell work. Because sometimes I feel like it's just me when I'm being paranoid. But yeah, I'm very interested to find out what your thoughts are about this video. And but if you like these videos, please give them a like and a thumbs up and share them. If you're interested in these art pieces, I am currently on Society 6. I'll link it below. You can get the printouts. They're also available in different kind of formats. And yeah, so I probably will talk about in my next video my experience with Society 6, because it's kind of like this. I'm not 100% into it, and so I want to talk about that in the next video. But yeah, so I just want to thank you guys, and for those again that celebrate the Witches Sabbats, the pagan holidays, blessed Lammas, and I hope, or Lunasaw, whatever you go with. I hope all your blessings manifest and all your dreams come true. And so yeah, many blessings, you guys. Mwah. Blessed be.